Hi guys, welcome back to Circles of Connection. It's a beautiful time. It's a lovely day. Things are awesome. Life is beautiful. I hope you are experiencing a wonderful October and you are getting better in every area and doing fine in every situation you find yourself in. 2025 has been one of those years whereby the unexpected tends to happen. It's unlike different years where you could predict that, okay, by this time this year, it would be like this. This is a little bit different in a good way. Yes, in a good way. You just have to have this kind of mindset that no matter what comes my way, I was built to survive it. I am going to overcome it. And that brings us to a very wonderful time of the year because we're in mid-October and soon we're going to be getting into November just before December. So how are we doing? How is your relationship? How is everything? The last time on the podcast, I was ranting about what I had noticed young people getting involved in sex at a very young age, getting to just amassing body count for very nonsensical reasons. And it's always going to, in a way, come back to affect people. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm speaking to you. I am your friend. I don't want the young girls that I know by maybe when they are 25 or 28, they are going from one church to another, looking for solutions to problems that were created now. Most of all these complicated problems are created when we begin to attach ourselves to people we don't even know. Well, I didn't learn my own through textbook. I didn't learn this through listening to a podcast. I learned it by going through life, right? And so I am trying to just speak to those who want to listen. Everyone that hears this would probably not believe everything that's been said, but then again, it's only fair that we still put it out there. So without wasting much of our time, I want to bring on my wonderful guest. She's going to tell us her name and she's going to tell us whether she feels this kind of conversations are necessary or are important in today's conversations.
My name is Veronica Boasi. Well, I feel this topic is important to say because nowadays, young people nowadays, they really need to be reminded about the dangers of sex at a young age, how harmful it is, even though it's very, very, how do I put it? It can be very, should I say delicious? Even if it's a habit that most people can't do without, it's very important we talk about it because it affects the health, like spiritual health, yes, of a person.
Do you think that's important that people in relationship get to have sex? Do you think it helps the relationship, like it's important and all?
Okay, when it comes to relationships, for me, I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to be, I'll just say it as it is. Sex is not important in relationship. In a way, it is important. But nowadays, youngsters nowadays, base relationship and dating based on sex. You can imagine a guy asking a girl out and even in their talking stage, next to me, he is, I want to have sex. When I'm going to have sex, it's somehow. Using me, for example, I don't really like sex. I'm not a sex kind of person. Whatever relationship I'm in, sex doesn't really have to be the key there.
Awesome stuff. So you feel sex is not important. Well, I don't know how many people would agree with that, but then again, I respect your point of view.
It's not important in the sense that we are still young. We can imagine a girl of 15 years old already being open to sex life. You are still young, and even to date, you are still young to date because you don't know anything. You haven't gotten anywhere. Even if you say you're in a relationship with somebody, sex shouldn't even be the first thing on the list. It shouldn't even be there at that time. What you people should be working towards is how to properly learn to communicate with each other. Two people can date for a year without sex if they have the ability to keep themselves for each other. If they make a promise to keep themselves for each other, they can actually do it. So to me, sex is not important.
my God. I can pick that you are speaking from somewhere. Yes, you're coming from a place, and that place, it took you a lot to come out of there, but I respect that. Do you just try to ask, are there like any benefits or any disadvantage of involving in sex at a young age? What do you think about this?
Benefits and disadvantage of having sex. Well, for me, I would say they are none. Scientific ways will prove me otherwise, right? Because I read. Don't get me like twisted. I'm also a health personnel, but I know that in the science way, sex helps to relieve stress. It helps the lady, like how do I put it, the cardiovascular health. It helps in it helps improve overall body function because when a man has sex, they're basically releasing, they're releasing stress, and you can now see that even after a man and woman they are done being intimate, they might just sleep off. Why? Because it's a form of relief. It's a form of relief. While going beyond that, I don't know if I should digress. Going beyond that in the spiritual realm is more of like a link. Now the thing is, I know mistakes happen, but if you are in a relationship and your eyes is open, your body would say, let me meet this person, let's have a taste. But your soul will fight otherwise. The disadvantages of having sex at a young age is because most people will not find out that. Now it depends on the sex partner. If a girl is in a toxic relationship and the person she has sex with is always like has high libido, is always doing and doing and doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, the girl will pick up that same stamina. Thereby, she sees it as every little time she wants to have it. Any guy she has, she wants to have it. Now, most of these things can come from trauma. That most people just keep having sex all the time. They believe it's benefiting them. Let me tell you, if you have the mindset that the more you have sex, the more exposed you are lying. You're only hurting yourself the more. As a lady, you're only hurting yourself the more. You're not supposed to be that exposed. As a man, you're not supposed to be that exposed. You're supposed to protect your semen, protect your sperm, like save it up for the future.
You've mentioned a lot of important things, especially the spiritual aspect and all. I feel like in November, yes, that should be our focus. In the month of November, we're going to be looking at spiritual aspect that involves relationships and all. Yeah. And so, Veronica, any advice to young people in relationship in today's time and age? And also tell us your final words, like just as you are, just conclude with your final words.
My advice to young people that are in relationship is this. I'm not saying you should quit your relationship, but try to understand each other. Give yourself time. Let's say give yourself tests to see if what you feel from each other it's more than flesh. Because if it is just flesh, trust me, it's not gonna last. Physical attraction doesn't last long. Attracting to someone's beauty, you see, if you're attracted to a flower, you love it while it is young and vibrant, but when the thing starts to wither, you just trash it. It has lost it loses its attractiveness in your eyes. So my advice to young people is just take it easy. And struggling to, cope with their sexual life. Most people have rough sexual life. I have tons of friends. I have few friends that, even without sex, masturbation is always killing them. And most of these people, they know they're having fault there, but they don't know who to talk to with. They don't know who to talk to. So most of them, it might coach some of them with their sexual life and stuff. Most of the ladies, they want to have sex. Now, I'm not trying to judge. Some people, when they tend to have sex all the time, it goes far beyond spirituality. It goes far beyond what you and I see. It's not like the person just picked up that habit. Maybe the person or that individual has trauma of being raped when young. For some people, to make them withdraw from sex, but for others, a certain relationship with this in-depth understanding and they know what they are doing. Even in marriage, sex is the bond that brings the husband and wife together, that they make children. It's a very, very powerful bond that we humans should not play with.
And so, guys, we have heard it all. This is just one person's perspective, right? There are going to be people that would resonate with this and people that will have a different opinion. That's why we have the comment section. So please feel free to drop your comment section if you feel you want to come on the podcast and maybe share your views, your opinions about certain things that concerns relationship, people between people, person between person. Please feel free to reach out to me. If you have my personal number, awesome. You could reach out to me on my email address. You could contact me through TikTok or any other place you find me. And so this podcast, it's a bit long, but I'm sure it was worth our time. Remember to tell a friend, to tell another friend about what we are doing here and how we are. The whole purpose of this is to kind of help the younger people. There are certain things you are going through that many people have gone through. For example, Veronica mentioned like she has friends that are masturbating. I know someone who is still masturbating now. I know people that are punishing themselves for something that happened, let's say 3 years ago. They are still living in that situation till today. The person that punished them has moved on. So there are a lot of things that happens between you and someone that ends up affecting someone's life, and the other person even fails to get over it. So that's why Circles of Connection is here, how we go through life, what we meet and what we face, and how people get to meet us and face us. Until when next I see you. Bye for now.